All right. It is good to see you all. Let's see. We are coming in, and it looks like we're just now starting to come in live with everybody. So people starting to filter in here and there, which is fun. And yeah, awesome. So we're gonna wait for folks to come in for the next couple minutes. While you are waiting for that, do me a favor and say hello so that I know you're here. I know that we're coming through. I know that you can hear me and that you're excited about spending the next 30 minutes or so learning some cool stuff. Yeah? I hope so. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be teaching everybody pretty much how to do some cool things today that I've been very fortunate that not only have I been able to do, but I've been able to sort of be around some people that are really smarter than me. So that always helps, right? When you're hanging out with people that are way smarter than you and they get to teach you the stuff that they're doing as well. So I appreciate everybody being here today. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. And what we're going to do right now is everybody can get it. And then we are going to pretty much get started with things. So welcome. If you are here live, say, hey, I want to know who's here, how you're doing, and what's going on in your world. Where are you coming from? Just tell me where you're at. Good stuff. All right. Awesome. Welcome to all of our live viewers that are coming in right now. Starting to see some folks get in. So awesome. I'm glad that you are here. Good stuff. All right. So, hey, what's up, David? How are you, man? Good to see you. Good to see you hanging out, and glad you're doing well. So, more coming in. Awesome. Very cool. Hey, Mary, how are you? Good to see you. All right. Well, I'm not going to take up too much of the time with the early stuff. If you didn't make it live, then you didn't make it. But yeah, what's up, Michael? How are you? Rich, what's up, man? How are you? Good to see you. Glad that you're coming through loud and clear. All right, so real quick, we are about to start about 1 more minute, actually about 30 seconds, and then we're going to get in and rock this thing out. All right, cool. All right, so welcome. If you are here and you don't know who I am, my name is Ben Adkins. I am the CEO of a company called Fearless Social. The cool thing is about this company is I get to work from home, and I'm at my home office today just chilling out, and we wanted to do a nice little thing for folks that follow us, but also if you don't know who we are and you're brand spanking new, wanted to do something cool for those that are just jumping in. What's up, Adam? How are you? Ivan, how are you? Good to see you guys. So what we wanted to focus on today was something super simple. And I remember when I got started online with my business a few years back. For those of you that don't know me, I was a chiropractor and I was doing the chiropractic thing and then just pretty much got started with the internet by teaching other businesses how I grew my chiropractic practice using Facebook. So I got into sort of selling information to people and people sort of dug it and that was cool. I thought it was cool and they paid me to do it. So I decided, I'm going to do more of this. And over time, this thing developed into this monster. And we made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions along the way. But at the very least, I learned a whole heck of a lot along the way. And so at this point, one of my big passions is sharing how we got to here, how I've been able to grow the business that I have, but also sharing the advances that have happened in the last probably 3 to 4 years. When I first started like 5 years ago, it was a lot harder to get a business started than it is now. The technology that's available to you now is just amazing. And what's really cool is if you find something that you're passionate about, you can start a business pretty much for next to no dollars, test out your idea, and get in, get out for almost zero, right? Almost zero invested. You can learn how to do some really cool things. You can show people how to do some cool things like I'm doing right now. But more importantly, if you have an idea, you can start a business this weekend. And that, I think that's what's so exciting to me is the technology that's out there. So what I want to go through today is it's going to be like this random rapid fire thing that we are going to be doing. But I want to throw out some ways that every time I get interested in something new, how I start the business or how I test the business before I start it so that I know, hey, this is a cool idea. And yeah, it's something that we should definitely look into. So like I said, if you're just coming in, feel free to comment, feel free to, leave something there. And if you have a question as we go along, leave it there. And I will make sure that I do my best to get these questions answered as we go through. So let's dive in. Let's get started. So first things first, how many people here are passionate about something and you've thought about starting a business doing it, but you've just not gotten into it yet? So probably a lot. For most of the people that I talk to, there are a lot of people out there that really want to do it, or they know someone that wants to do it. And yeah, they want to get started really quickly. So what I want to go through today is I want to show you a really cool way that you can start a business selling physical products. Now, I normally do a lot of digital products, but I also, behind the scenes, when nobody else is looking, I sell physical products. And we've got several brands that we've put together. And what I want to do is I want to show you the process that I use to get started with this stuff, and how for next to no dollars invested, how next to none, like seriously, no money invested, how I was able to go in and get started and test this and see if there was anybody out there that actually wanted to buy something from me before we actually even spent just a whole heck of a lot of money. And so that's what we're going to do today. In the next little bit, we're going to show you guys that. So if you're ready, do me a quick favor and say, I'm ready in the box, and we're going to get into it. Okay, cool. All right. Lots of folks coming in. Good. Seeing more folks filter in as we get going. Awesome. So first things first, I'm going to jump back and I am going to show you guys my screen. So real quick, we're going to make sure that you guys can see this. We're going to transition over to my screen, and we're going to start with something that I think is the most important part of starting your own business is research. And, research is like the most boring thing in the world to most people, but research, right? So if you're going to get started and you're going to do this business from home, you first want to research and say, okay, what are we going to be selling? And so if we're doing physical products, one of the most important things to me is that you've got an idea that actually has a chance of going big, right? So I'm going to switch over to my screen. Let's make sure that you guys can see this. Right about now, you should be seeing lovely Pinterest, right? So if you go to Pinterest, this is my Pinterest account. It's pretty boring actually. But these are just some things on Pinterest. Now, the reason I love Pinterest, and this is big, and I know everybody's heard of Pinterest, and most people think that, hey, it's just ladies that are on Pinterest. It's dominated by females, but Pinterest is a really good place to do research because I don't know about you, but at least with most of the households that I know, the ladies drive the buying decisions. And, even if it's like, I tell my wife that I want something, she knows about it. And a lot of this stuff ends up on Pinterest. It blows me away, the collections. Like today, I learned some stuff about my wife that I didn't know. I've been married for years, and I learned some stuff about my wife that she wanted, that she, sort of what her life was all about from Pinterest. And then there's friends of hers that I've learned about them just from Pinterest over the last couple of days. That's been a big thing to me. So right now, I want to make sure you guys can see this and it's on your screen. We've got Pinterest. I'm going to show you how powerful Pinterest is. So one of the big things that I like to do is I get in my mind, okay, this is something I want to do. And I got thinking of my mom here. So I was thinking of my mom, and I was like, what is my mom into? What does my mom really dig? And is there any way I can turn that into a business? So when I start, that's what I think. I think of one person, what their interests are, and then I think, is there enough people out there that this would be something we could do? So my mom really likes weenie dogs. And a few people know this about my mom. She's amazing, by the way, an amazing woman. But she likes weenie dogs. She always has, and it's something that she's, into. And so I go to Pinterest, and these are called dash hounds or dachshunds, however you want to pronounce it, depending on where you live in the world. But I go to Pinterest, and I can type in the word dachshund. And when I'm on Pinterest, I start getting some things, that are dachshund related. But then if I go a little step further and I type like dachshund gifts, this is where things get really interesting with Pinterest, is you can start looking through and you can see all of these interesting things that people are selling or are for sale that people have like basically collected that they think are cool that have to do with wiener dogs or dachshunds, right? I know that's a crazy example, but I wanted to put it out there that, hey, you know, you can go anything. If we can find stuff for weenie dogs, we can find stuff with just about anything. So another one, you know, I start with gifts, and I like gifts because it's a good one. So I like whiskey, okay? So whiskey is something that I'm into, and I can look up here real quick in whiskey gifts, okay? So you can start looking at some cool things that are for sale that have to do with whiskey, okay? And I've started businesses in both those things, actually, just so you get a good idea of where we're going with all this. So both of those things have been big in my life just because my mom, and then like I'm into, you know, whiskey drinking culture, things like that. So with Pinterest, I can go through and I can get an idea, are other people into this stuff? And if I go in and I type gifts and whiskey up in the Pinterest search, I can start seeing things that sort of relate to that. Now, if I start finding things that are for sale, like this over here, these personalized whiskey, and they help keep it cold without watering down your drink. All right, cool. Here's a certain glass that is kind of cool for drinking whiskey in. That's another thing that you could sell if you were into this and you wanted to make money off of your passion. As we go a little bit further down, we see more glasses. We see decanter sets. We see here's like a barrel that you can get. All kinds of really, really cool things that you could go in and you could sell. Now, maybe you're sitting there right now and you're thinking, well, dude, Adkins, I don't know how to source this stuff, how to do any of that stuff if I did want to sell that. That's okay. I'll get into that in just a couple minutes. But as we start off, that gives you an idea of how I start. Now, another great place, if you want to find out what's selling right now and maybe what's something that, you know, have a good time selling, because you have to have a good time selling it, is you can go up to Amazon bestsellers. So if you go to Google right now, you open up your web browser and you go to Google right now, you can go to Amazon bestseller. Just type in Amazon bestsellers and you can see that they've got their bestsellers. Now, here's what's even better. Not only do they have their bestsellers, but you can go by category. So if I was looking for like grocery, gourmet, and food, I wanted to sell something food, I can see what's selling the best in that right now. And I can even go even more granular down than that, candy and chocolate. And I can see what is selling best in candy and chocolate. So you can like get really down to what's selling best on one of the biggest networks on the planet, Amazon, and you get into this. So let's just go watches. So with Amazon watches, and I'm going to go men's watches, okay? So men's watches, and we've got the Fitbit stuff selling well. We've got the Apple watches that are selling well, smart watches, and you can tell like certain types of things are selling well style-wise, and you can get a sense of that. So that's really, really cool. That's helpful. Now, another place that I like to go, and we'll get back to this one in a minute, is a place called AliExpress. Now, think of AliExpress as sort of the Amazon. It's a little different, but sort of the Amazon of the East, right? So over China, Japan, that area. But also it's huge now in the U.S. because they've expanded to the U.S. market. And you can start looking at all of these collections and things that are selling well, and you get some really good insight as to what's going on and what people are all about when you go to this place. Finally, how many of you that are watching this have heard of a site called Wish? Who's heard of Wish? Wish is really, really cool because it's a great place to find out what's selling really, really well right now. Okay, so what's selling really, really well right now? And if you go check out Wish, it's amazing how you can dive into stuff. Now, here's what's cool about Wish. You can type in something in the search box. So I can type in whiskey. So let's do that. So whiskey, let's go with that. I type in whiskey in the search, and now I'm going to get a big list of things that are selling. So these whiskey stones, 157 bought this. This flask set, over 2,000 bought this at $10, right? This decanter set over here, over 1,000 bought that at that price. So you can start seeing what they're selling on sort of this discount thing. And now keep in mind, people that buy from Wish understand that when they buy, it takes a while for things to get there because it's being sourced from China, okay? So it's being sourced from China. So one of the big things you have to start locking in is you have to start locking in that you can go find all this cool stuff that's for sale, just by using sites that are already selling this stuff or places like Pinterest that are collecting this. Now, I want to show you something that is really cool. Once you decide on something that looks like it's selling well by using one of these sites, it's really interesting as to how you can get into this. So let's stick with the Wish example, and I'm going to go back to sort of the front page that I was on. So you got this watch here. Can everybody see this watch? So with this watch, we've got 37,149 people who have bought this watch. So can you guys see that? Tons of people, like tons and tons of people have bought this. Over 37,000 people have bought this at $16. Now, it's a Bluetooth smartwatch, and there you go. You kind of get an idea of what it is and what it looks like, and, you know, they got some specs in there. You know, you can pick a color. You get the idea, right? So that's what we've got. Now, here's where things start to get really interesting. You start to realize really quickly that this watch that they're selling for $16, it seems like a hell of a deal. You can do even better than that. Okay, so I'm going to transition back real quick to me. But how many of you, when you go see something like that, you see this smartwatch, you know, that's out there that tons of people are buying, and you get excited about it? And like, I got a smartwatch right here, you know, that I'm charging right now while we're on this conversation. So, I mean, like, these things, you know, whether you think they're doing well or not, they're out there kicking a little butt. So the idea behind that smartwatch is $16. Now, not everybody wants an Apple Watch. Not everybody wants that. Some folks just want this thing here, and they want to get it, and it's going to look awesome, and it looks good. It's a great looking watch. But $16, you're like, well, I can't beat that. I can't beat that. Like, that's just too good. And if I opened up a place that was selling this, even if I knew how to do it, I wouldn't know how to beat that. Now, check this out. Let's go to AliExpress. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Bluetooth smartwatch. Okay, so I'm going to transition back to this screen here so you guys can see it. And I'm going to go to this smartwatch on, this is Wish. I'm going to grab that. And then I'm going to AliExpress. So now that we're here, I'm going to type in Bluetooth smartwatch. Okay, so check this out. This is the smartwatch pretty much that we just looked up. And we've been here, and you can go down the list if you want to find some more, but this is pretty much the smartwatch that we've got in. I want you to take a quick look at this when I actually click into this. When I actually click into this, you can get this watch for between $11 and $12. And here's what's even better. Free shipping to the United States via standard shipping. Now, standard shipping is going to be 15 to 25 days, but it's still free shipping, which means if you were to go sell this right now, you can sell this for $11 to $12. You could sell it for $14, beat these guys, and you could order it directly from AliExpress and ship it to your customer and make a couple bucks. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Well, Ben, a couple bucks. What does that even mean? Is it even worth my time for a couple bucks? Well, here's the thing you got to realize. When you start doing items like this, you've got a huge, huge market of people that would be interested. And if you can beat someone like Wish, you're in a pretty good place. So $16 is what they're doing. You could sell it for $14. Now, here's the thing. You may be thinking, well, Ben, still, it's just a couple bucks that I'm making on this for free shipping if I ship it that way. Plus, you know, it seems like a lot of hassle. Here's the cool thing. This, AliExpress, is not the cheapest that you could do this, okay? It's not the cheapest that you could sell this for. If you actually went to Alibaba.com, so Alibaba.com, which is sort of the place where you source the type of stuff that they're selling here, you could type this in, and if you develop a business where things are really going fast, check this out. So if you were to order the stock and send it to your own house, check this out. We're going into this. So here's sort of the model. Somebody buys from us. We set up a store. We'll go through that in a minute. We set up a store. Someone buys from us. They buy it for 14. We're making, a couple bucks with that. We're got places like Wish, and we send it directly to them. We start selling a lot of these watches, and we want to make a bigger profit margin. Check out what we can do. We can go to Alibaba. We can go to this, $6 to $10 a piece. We can order them ourselves, and the more you order, the better deal they'll give you. The minimum order here is 5 pieces. So you can order 5 pieces. Let's say you get it for 10. Your profit margin went up. Now, you still got shipping, but these are not going to be that heavy to ship. So you can see some very interesting possibilities when you start getting this. And if you start ordering a lot more of these, you can get them for even cheaper. So I hope everybody so far can see sort of where we're going with this. There's opportunities out there that would absolutely blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind if you just looked. And we went through how to find the item that, maybe is doing well, that's popular, that you have some interest in. We went through how to find out where to source it so that you could test this. So if you had a store, you could put it up for sale, and the second that it sold, you could test it, you could ship it out through AliExpress. Now, how many of you here would like to jump in and see how to set up the store and set it up to where you could connect to something like AliExpress so that when someone bought, you could automatically ship it over? Now, there's a lot of solutions and ways to do this, but let me get into first how we do this. First, let's talk about how we set up a store in the first place so that we can have a place that people would want to come do this. So I use something called Shopify. It's pretty powerful. And the cool part about Shopify is it allows you to have a store. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you a store that we've got set up here real quick. And let me actually go to the main store so you guys can see this. And I'll just put it here. This is not fancy, but it gets the job done. So if you look at this, it's called Doxy Store, which is about dachshunds. And so what's really cool about this store is you can go in and let's say we wanted to look at rings. We've got rings here that you can look at, and we've got things for sale. Nothing fancy, but we've got something for sale. Now, what's cool about this is anytime I want to test a new item with a new audience, I can go over here, find something at AliExpress, and I can put it in my store to sell. And when someone clicks and buys it, I get a notification on my phone, but I can also click a button and ship it to them. Okay, so I can click a button and ship it to the person, and it comes directly from, you guessed it, AliExpress, so I never have to touch the inventory. Okay, so let's get a little bit deeper, and I want to show you how you can do this. So we go to Shopify, and with Shopify, what we do is we jump in and we can go for 14 days for free. This is what I love about Shopify. You can go in 14 days. So this weekend, if you were passionate about this, the next day you go and research this stuff. You go to Shopify, and I'm going to give you guys a blog post to go to because I think this is really powerful. There's going to be a blog post at the end that I'm going to link you guys to, and I'll link to our show notes on our website that you guys can go to, that it shows exactly the things you need to do on Shopify. And it kind of gives you a step-by-step of what to set up so you can do what I'm talking about today. So I'll make sure we link that for you guys when it's all said and done, okay? So now that we've got a Shopify store set up, kind of like this one, there's a particular app that I really like called Oberlo. And this is Oberlo. Now, what Oberlo does is it goes in and it connects AliExpress account. So every time someone goes in and they order something that you've got in your store like this, it sends you a notification, and then you go in at the end of the day, you find your orders, you click, and then you can go in and you can actually fulfill this stuff. Okay, so I've got some orders here, and I've got some orders that have been lined up, and what I can do is I can go ahead and order the product. So I can go ahead and say, order products, and then it's going to go in and automatically do it. Now, I'm not going to do it right now in front of you guys because there's sensitive information here. But with this particular stuff, these are some orders that have come in this morning, and we've got them ready. We click order product, and as soon as I get a notification they shipped, I click mark as shipped. And then they will ship directly to them, and I make the profit off of whatever was sold inside of the store because I didn't have to pay shipping. The company paid shipping, and it's good. And what I'm charging for these, I make a little bit of money every time. So super simple. That was done in a very small amount of time. So all I'm doing is I'm connecting my AliExpress account where I order and my credit card's in there with my Shopify account. And every time an order's made, I can fulfill it that way. So I hope you're starting to see sort of this arbitrage opportunity that exists. And what I'm saying is you don't want to stick with this drop shipping arbitrage model forever. That's not a smart deal at all. But if you put up an item for sale and you're just selling it like hotcakes and it's going out like crazy, what you can do is now you can order stock and you can start sort of the real thing. You can have a company that does the shipping for you. You can do all this, but the key is you don't have to spend a lot of money. Oberlo, the company that does the connection, it's basically free to start. You get a trial. Shopify, free trial to start. After that, you don't pay for any of these items. You don't order stock until you sell them. So that's free. Everything, you got basically 2 weeks here to start out, and you can start this from your home and test it for free. Okay? So once we have that in place, we now can put something together like this store that we've got. So the question to come to this store, and I'm going as fast as I can, so I know there's probably going to be some questions here and there, and that's completely okay. But yeah, I want to make sure that we've got this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is there's a couple questions in the show notes right now, or that people are saying. So Oberlo is the app for Shopify. So Oberlo is the app for Shopify. So I've got that in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transition back over here. So I've been looking at you. Here's the app. It's Oberlo. And yeah, I meant to not show you my screen because I got some sensitive order information in here. But this is basically how this works. So this is Oberlo. All right. Can everybody see Oberlo now? Oberlo connects Shopify. As I said, you can do Shopify for pretty cheap. You can do Oberlo for pretty cheap to start. It's free for a trial. And what you can do is this. So I'm going to show you how this works. So I go into AliExpress. And let's just say I wanted to find something for my dachshund. So I want to do dachshund. Let's do plates. I don't know if there are plates, but let's look at the plates. So I can't see any plates. Let's do necklace, dachshund necklace. So, or just jewelry. Let's keep it basic, right? Let's just do jewelry. So dachshund jewelry. So I go in and I find something. And with the Oberlo app installed, what you can see is like people have this stuff. Oberlo puts this stuff because there's a Chrome extension and it's going to put this stuff over it. And so the shipping's free. So this looks pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this as a product import. And then I'm going to go to Oberlo, the app inside of my Shopify store, and I'm going to go to my import list. And I can look at all of these things that I've said I want to import. So what happens is I go in and say, okay, this little pin looks awesome. So I'm going to go in and look at what's the description. Do I want to change that? No, it looks good. Do I want to change this? Let's do just dachshund summer brooch because it's a pin. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to variants. And so with this, you have to order in bulk. So this wouldn't work. This one, let's see what we got here. If this is a bulk order, that's a bulk order. But this, let's see these earrings. So these earrings, let's look at these because these are ones that I imported that you can do. So what I'm going to do is dachshund ear stud earring. All right, so I'm going to select this. I would have put it in one of my collections that I've already built. I don't have any earrings yet, so I can put it in pins for the meantime and change that later. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to description. I'm going to say, does my description look good? Not bad. Variants. So the variants are this. There's 3 different versions of this earring that I would have found. So I can say black, silver, whatever. It's $2.99 per. So I'm going to change all the prices to a new value. And I'm going to say, I want these to be $9.99. Now, we actually sell these things, and it's $2.99 plus shipping's free. So $9.99 is what I'm going to sell them for. We're going to say compare this at $11.99 if we want to do a comparison price. And then all I have to do is push it to my shop. So now what's happened is it's being pushed to my Shopify store. So now if I go through here and I go to products, you can see all of my products here. Let's see if my earrings have made it over here yet. They may not. And it takes a little bit of time for it to transport over. But when they get over there, let's see if it actually made it in. I'll refresh. Sometimes it's just that I can't find them because I got a lot of products in this store. Let's see. There's my rings. More rings, more rings, more rings. It's on the way over right now. Okay, so it's on the way over. But let me just show you sort of what it looks like when we do push these things over. Okay, so let's look at this necklace. So we got this necklace. This necklace looks like this, and here we can change things. We can do whatever here. But Now that I go to my store, I can go to necklaces and I can find that particular necklace in the store and you could buy it that way. Super duper simple. And like I said, it's all done through an import process that happens inside of this Oberlo app. So, you guys seeing the power behind this? I hope so. I hope so. Michael says, can you run 2 plugins at Shopify at once, say Oberlo and Printful? Yeah. Now, the limitation for Oberlo is this. You can only use it for one store if you're using the browser extension, right? Now, you can use it in multiple stores. There's other friends of mine that have things like Oberlo that you can do multiple stores, but there you go. Okay, so that sort of will get you an idea of sort of your limitations, the things that you can do with that, but there you go. So I hope you're seeing the power. Now, the thing after that is once you sort of get your store set up, and you can do this all this weekend and test it, it wouldn't cost you anything because you're using your free trials, you're using all that stuff that's free right now, right? You're not paying for any items, nothing that we've gone through you have to pay for until you sell it. And then you can go through, and this is how you actually go in and test it. Now, there's a couple ways I'm going to show you guys how to test this stuff. Now, the first one is pretty simple. Okay, first one's pretty simple. And I'm gonna go back to my screen so you guys can see this. We're back at Facebook now, okay? So we're back at Facebook, and what I'm going to do is, let's just say I want to do my docs and stuff, so docs them. So there's tons of Facebook groups out there with dachshunds or Facebook pages. So I'm going to do find more results for dachshund, okay? So on the side of the page here, let me zoom this in for you guys. On the side of the page here, you've got places you can go. So you've got groups. And we've got different groups that have to deal with dachshunds. All kinds of fun things there. You can become members of those groups. You can go in and you can just search for pages. And you can search for these things. Now, the cool thing is once you get onto one of these pages, you can start doing some interesting things. You can start becoming a part of the community. You can start becoming involved. And then it's going to come up, hey, I run a store for dachshunds. And you can get people there. You can go to forums on the internet, talk about your store, put it in your signature. So let's go to this one. This is a dachshund page that's pretty popular. Let me zoom out a little bit. Very, very popular stuff. Lots of shares. Really, really cool stuff that they've got here. You could go in and you could be really pulling a lot of information about these folks, but you could start getting it out there that, hey, I got a store, go check it out. Okay, now if you want to get real fancy, and I'm not big on posting on other people's pages and doing this stuff, this is where things get really interesting. We go in and we go to .com. So business.facebook.com. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take us down to, I've got an account that is for, I should have it anyway, for the docs and stuff, but I don't, no big deal. But we're going to run an ad. Let's just run, which account should we run in? I'm not going to actually run the ad. Let's just go into an account we don't use real often. We'll use this one. So you'd set up one account. I have multiple accounts, but set up one account. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to say, I want to create an ad for my store. So find one item in your store that you want to test. So maybe this particular necklace that we've got on this store, and I'm going to actually, it's right here. And I'm going to grab this, and this is the necklace that we want to do. So with this particular necklace, I would go in and I would say, okay, so it's $9.95. I just want to see if people will buy it, even if I don't make any money. Now, this necklace cost me, if I were to go look, probably about $2, $3. Let's say I wanted to give people $5 off on this necklace so we could run a promotion. So I'm going to go to Facebook, and keep in mind, I'm just wanting to test the idea right now. And I want to come back on this one. I'm just wanting to test the idea right now. I'm not wanting to see, hey, can I make a ton of money? If the idea works, then I know I'm on to something, right? If the idea works, then I know I'm on to something. If it doesn't work, no big deal. No harm, no foul. I've not lost anything, okay? Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Now let's switch back here, and I'm going to show you. So we switch back here, and you can see my screen now. We've got this necklace. And this necklace is something that we're selling $9.95, but let's say we wanted to run an ad to it to people that like dachshunds. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to Facebook, business.facebook.com, and I'm going to set up an ad. So real simple. I'm not going to get into like advanced Facebook stuff right now. You don't have to. Simple, simple stuff. I just want to send people to my website. Okay? Just want to send people to my website. I'm going to call this Dachshund necklace. Continue. Okay, now it's going to ask me who I want to actually rock for my audience. So you got to kind of know who your audience is, and a good way to do that is go to Facebook and just see sort of who it is that's out there. If you'd really like to get into your audience and figure out who they are, check this out. We're going to go up here, and I'll come back to this ad in a minute. But we're going to go up here. We're going to open up this a new ad manager thing. So inside your ad account, and I'm going to go to Audience Insights. For those of you that haven't used it before, don't worry. Just Audience Insights is what we're going for. And I'm going to say, I want to basically look at everybody on Facebook. I only want to go whatever country you're in. And I want to see, just right now, interest-wise, who likes Dachshunds on Facebook. So who likes Dachshunds on Facebook? So super simple. So here's what Facebook tells us. It tells us that it's 86% women like Dachshunds on Facebook. Okay, well, that tells us something. That tells us who we're going to target with our ad. But I also know that the biggest group of people is 45 to 54. So now I have some targeting. Now you can get even more information about these people. You can kind of figure out who they are and what they do. You can figure out what pages they like. And you can really start to get an idea of who these folks are. So when I go back to my ad, this is what I'm doing. Everybody in the United States, I'm going to only target women 45 to 54. Women 45 to 54 because that's my primary audience. So I don't want to spend money on people that aren't my primary audience. Target women. And then you can actually get into some interesting things like excluding people, things like that. That's a little more advanced. This is a good place to start, okay? What I like to do with this, and I'll just show you one tip with this, is we're going to click exclude people, and we're going to keep out a market based on income. So income, and I'm going to keep out folks that are making a very low income because maybe they're not going to have the money to buy what we want. So if I went income, you can pick a certain number, okay? So you can go that. Now, you may want to do that. You may not want to do that, but you can actually pick income and pick who you want to exclude, or you can pick who you want to include, okay? So I can say income, folks that make over between $50,000 and $75,000. Above that, maybe they don't want my kind of stuff. Below that, maybe they can't get it. I don't know. But that's where we start. So that's what I sort of do with the ad. Now, then I'll say, you know what? I only want to spend like $5 a day to test this. Now, this is cheap as $35 to see if a business will work. Okay? $35 to see if a business will work. And we're going to call this Doxy Ad 1 or Ad Set 1. So after that, we'll continue. We'll continue. Now, last thing, before I get into this last thing of how to actually create the ad, I want to check and make sure everybody's still following along and I haven't missed any crazy questions here. I want to make sure that I'm getting everybody. Good. I think we're good so far. If I missed you, sorry. I will come back and try to see them later, and I'll answer them later in the chat. Okay? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take you back, and I'm going to take you back to the ad that we're running, and I'm going to show you basically how to set up a decent ad so that you could advertise this product and get it out there, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to transition back to my screen. Transition back to my screen. Now, this is a service called Canva, okay? So what we're doing right now is we want to create an ad for Facebook. And so what you want to do is you want to have a place where you can do this easily. Canva's free to use, by the way. The cool thing about Canva is it allows you to make an image that's the right size for certain networks. So once you log in, once you get signed up, you'll see this thing up here where you can go in and I can click create a design, and it's going to give me options of all of these things that I could use image-wise. I'm going to go with Facebook ad, okay? So Facebook ad. And then it gives me a bunch of templates for a Facebook ad. So here's what's cool. We can kind of scroll through this and we can see some cool things, but I'm going to find you guys a good one that you can use right out of the gate too. Let me locate it here real quick because let's see, what do I want to use? Let's go with, how about, I want one that's got like a half sort of picture thing on it. I'll find this one, don't worry. Let's go here. So we can't use this obviously right away, but what we want to do is we want to go back to our store. We want to go into this, we want to get this picture. So we're going to find our picture from our store. And so this is the image from our store. So I'm going to save this image. So save image as, and I'm going to save it to my desktop so that I've got it ready to go. I'm going to go back to Canva and I'm going to upload that image. So upload, I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm going to upload the thing from my store that I just got. Okay. So once it's there, I'm going to bring it over here. And now I've got the image of my necklace and I just drag that into there on the screen. Okay. So after that, now I'm going to make this a little bit of a different color. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to select a color that's going to pop out on Facebook a little more. Okay. So now I'm going to like this image. I don't really want this particular image, but let's just say I want to go to elements up here and I want to do a summer sale. So I'm going to do summer. Type in summer. Let's see what we can find. Anything there? Let me get a little more specific. Let's go to summer. Let's go to shapes maybe. Let's go to illustrations and see if summer pops up in illustrations for us. So we got some stuff there we could possibly use. Let's see what else I can find. How about icons that go with summer? Let's see what we can find here. Could do something like that. My background doesn't go with it really, but we could do something like that. What else could we do? It's fun stuff here that you can find that'll go with it. Let's do sun. See if we can't find something. That's perfect. That's what I want. I like that. So we're going to use this sun. We're going to drag it out a little bit so it's bigger. We're going to click that. We're going to click that to make it that. And then I'm going to put summer sale. Get $5 off this awesome dachshund necklace and free shipping this weekend only. Click here. So we've got that ready to go. We want to shrink the text a little bit because Facebook has a rule that your text has to be a certain size or a certain amount of the entire image. So we're going to put that in there. Not a beautiful ad, but it'll do the trick. We're going to download this. So download this for the web and we're good. Everybody's seeing what we're doing so far. I just want to make sure everybody's seeing sort of what we're doing so far and how we're putting together this ad that we can put up to test this concept. And if it works, awesome. We continue to push forward. We continue to push forward. So with this next thing, we're going to dive in and now we're going to get into our ad. So let's go back to our ads. Now we've got our image ready. So single image. Put our image in. Should be my downloads. Let me find it. And now we've got an image for our ad that's going to look decent. Now you have to have a Facebook page, but you can set it up from here just by clicking this. So you can create a new one. And now I've got this. So what I would do is I'd go here. I would say, we've got this. I just want to make sure that in my store, I've got it at $5 off, which I do. So if you were to go to the store right now, it would say $14.95, $9.95 is the normal, right? So the $5 off is there. We grab our URL. we go over to Facebook. We type the URL in right there, so it goes directly to that. Give it a sec. It'll find it. Put in a little bit of copy, nothing crazy. If it gives you a warning, you just take out what it said to take out. And then you can go in and just type. Check out our intro to summer sale. Get $5 off this weekend only. Okay? I set that to shop now. You don't have to, though. You can change it to anything. And then I'm going to go down here to, let me find it. Check and see what it looks like in our news feed. Check here. This just hasn't updated yet. It's not going to be in there like that. Don't worry. Advanced options. If you want to go into that, you can put in a description here. Click here to get the deal now. So that should change that. So now you've got an ad that's ready to go. Display link, I'm just going to put Doxy Store. So it's not that big, long link, but it's still my URL. So now it says Doxy Store. Okay? I'm going to turn off the audience network right now. I'm going to turn off Instagram right now because we want to keep it simple. We want mobile. We want the desktop right-hand side. And we're going to test this. Super simple. That's how you go in and test the ad. Now, let me be real honest with you. In 47 minutes, I've walked you through how we can go from getting an idea to sourcing the product so that you never have to touch it and you make a profit with drop shipping and you can beat some of the top companies out there on their stuff. You can set up your store with Shopify. You can do the connection with a company like Oberlo that is going to do basically the handling for you with your AliExpress account. And then we also went through how to, with $5 a day, so you can test this out for a whole week for $5 a day to see if the item catches with people. This is how you do it. Now, are you going to become a millionaire next week by doing this? No, that's crazy. There's no way. But this is how every time we come up with a new idea, a new item on a physical product, we go in and we test it. Super simple, low amount of money. And keep in mind, your Oberlo account is free for 14 days. Shopify, free for 14 days. You don't pay anything to source the item until someone buys it. The only thing that you're doing is you got 14 days. Maybe if you want to get out there really fast and test it quickly, $5 a day with Facebook ads, put it out there. If it catches, you scale it. So I don't have time to go into, hardcore ad stuff today, hardcore scaling stuff today, but I did want to get out here for you guys and do a real quick walkthrough because you have no excuse not to follow your passion and to sell something that you like. It's that simple to go through it. And if you need to go back and watch this again, we'll make sure that it stays up. And I'll post it on our website that I'll be talking to you guys about soon, that all this kind of training is going to be on. I wanted to get on and show everybody how to do this and how to test the concept this weekend from your bed. You can do all this from bed if you walk through it, like we showed. So I hope you enjoyed this. I didn't want to get on and pitch anything. I didn't want to get on and bore you for too long. I didn't want this to be a 2-hour affair, but what I did want to do is show you how I get on and test things from a very low level. And then when they work, we scale them up and we take even more stuff and we get deeper into it. If they don't work, we drop it. Super simple. So I hope you guys dug it. I really do. Like I said, it's a little harder. I'm normally on like a live webinar where we're using GoToWebinar and the feedback's instant. There's a little bit of a delay with this, so it's hard for me to answer questions. So if I miss something from you, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that you guys got on. You got to see this. If you have a question all you have to do is post it in the chats or the comments of this. And if I don't catch it, if I didn't catch it during this, I'll go back here in a few minutes when the feed catches up and I'll answer your questions. And like I said, I hope this was helpful. I hope it was a nice freebie for everybody. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. And more importantly, I hope that if you learned something today, and you should have, that you take this and you actually use your weekend to build something that can power your weekends for forever. Like this weekend, I get to be pretty chill because I built a business that is powered by things like what you've seen today. And your weekends are better when you have more money to spend to do fun things. So hope you had fun. I had a blast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And I hope you'll come back. If you haven't liked our page yet, the one page that you're on, click like. We're going to be doing more of this stuff, and I want to share more of this stuff with you. And on behalf of everybody here at Fearless Social, thanks for being here, and I hope you learned some good stuff, and I hope you take action and you get some great results. So Ben Adkins here. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.